Have you seen the headlines coming out of the Middle East lately? They're painting this, well, a totally new picture of what modern warfare looks like. We're not talking about giant aircraft carriers or those super expensive stealth jets anymore. Nope. The new face of conflict? It's way smaller, way cheaper, and honestly, a whole lot more disruptive. So that's what we're going to dive into today, this new era of drone warfare and what it all means for, the rest of us. Okay, look at this quote. Security will be for all, or insecurity will be for all. That's a pretty stark warning, right? And it's coming straight from an official in Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. I mean, there's nothing subtle about that. It's basically a declaration, a statement that the old rules, the ones about military superiority, they're being torn up and rewritten. And that really sets the stage for everything we're about to get into. All right, first up, the hidden drone fleet. To really get what's going on here, we have to look past the actual battlefield for a minute, because this is also a war of perceptions. It's being fought with propaganda and some really bold claims, all for a global audience. So just picture this for a second. Iranian state TV puts out this really dramatic footage, right? And it's showing these massive fortified tunnels, like deep underground. And what's lining these tunnels? It's not just missiles. We're seeing rows and rows of naval suicide drones, unmanned boats, all of it just sitting there, ready to go. It is a total spectacle, and it's all designed for one thing, to project this immense hitting power. And this right here perfectly captures that clash of stories. You see, on one side, you have Iran making these huge claims that they've destroyed advanced American radar systems, inflicted heavy and painful damages, basically saying, we have the upper hand. But then on the other side, the U.S. just kind of brushes it off, calling it a short-term excursion. They're implying that their military is so superior, this will all be over in a flash. This, folks, is information warfare at its absolute finest. Okay, let's move on. Section 2, a war of attrition. So, all these claims are one thing. But how does this stuff actually translate into a real strategy on the ground? Well, to figure that out, let's look at a scenario that's been modeled on recent events. It's called Operation Epic Fury, and it shows us exactly how these drone swarms get used in a real conflict. So the operation kicks off with an absolute shockwave. I mean, on day one, we're talking nearly 900 drones and over 300 missiles launched. Just a massive wave designed to completely overwhelm the defenses. But then, look what happens next. The attacks don't stop. Not at all. They just change. The whole campaign shifts into this steady, grinding rhythm. Hundreds of strikes every single day, just designed to wear the enemy down. And this chart right here, it illustrates the new reality perfectly. Look at that. Drones make up 71% of all the strike assets. This is so important. They aren't just a support weapon anymore. They are the backbone of this modern air campaign. They're the main tool for just applying that relentless, nonstop pressure. So where is all this pressure actually going? Well, the data is crystal clear. The United Arab Emirates is the #1 target, getting hit with almost 1,500 drone attacks in just 1 week. The strategy is pretty obvious, right? Hit the economic hubs, hit the energy infrastructure in places like the UAE and Saudi Arabia to cause the most disruption possible. And this brings us to the absolute core of it all, the economic math of this new kind of war. Think about it. An attacker sends a drone that costs, what, maybe $20,000? But to stop that one drone, the defender has to fire an advanced interceptor, something like a Patriot missile, that costs $4 million. You don't even have to destroy the enemy's military to win anymore. You just have to make them go broke. Okay, so Section 3, the unjammable drone. Because that whole bankrupts the enemy's strategy, it gets even more powerful when you realize there's technology that makes these cheap drones incredibly, incredibly difficult to stop. I mean, it's the key question, right? In a world of super high-tech electronic warfare, if a defender can just jam the GPS signal, then shouldn't these cheap little drones just, fall out of the sky? Well, turns out, it's just not that simple anymore. The answer, the secret sauce, is a technology called an inertial navigation system, or INS for short. And the key phrase you need to remember is right there, requires no external signals. It's kind of like how a submarine navigates when it's deep underwater. It knows exactly where it started, and it uses its own internal sensors to calculate every single turn and movement to know where it is. It never needs an outside signal, like from a GPS satellite. And here's how simple and totally effective it is. Step 1, the drone gets its GPS location right at launch. Step 2, it immediately turns its GPS receiver off. It goes dark. Then it flies completely offline, just using its own internal sensors, that INS we just talked about. So it can fly for hundreds of miles right through a heavily jammed area and then, bam, strike its pre-programmed target, all without ever needing another GPS signal. It is such a simple, elegant solution to a multi-billion-dollar problem.
But look, it's not just this one trick. These drones are being upgraded constantly. We're talking about state-of-the-art antennas that are designed to filter out enemy jamming. They're built with materials like plastic and fiberglass that absorb radar signals, making them stealthy. And they might even be able to use other navigation systems like China's or Russia's as a backup. It's really a whole suite of low-cost but super high-impact technologies.
All right, Section 4, the new rules of war. So let's zoom out. What does all of this, the cheap tech, the economic strategy, the unjammable navigation, what does it all actually mean for the future of conflict? What are the new rules of war?
To find the answer to that, we really have to look at what's been happening in Ukraine. It has basically become a real-world laboratory, a place where this exact type of warfare is playing out every single day. It's where the rule book for how to defend against these things is literally being written in real time.
Just look at this number, 950. That is just staggering. By late 2025, that's how many anti-drone interceptors Ukraine was reportedly getting per day. It just goes to show you the sheer scale that's required here. You can't just have a handful of fancy advanced systems. You need a massive industrial-scale defense to counter a massive industrial-scale attack. You literally have to fight fire with fire. And really, the key takeaway from Ukraine is this. There is no single magic bullet for defense. It's about building a whole ecosystem. You need cheap, mass-produced drones that can intercept the attackers. You need trained operators. You need advanced software that can pull all the sensor data together. And you need communication systems that keep working even when GPS is jammed. It's a whole new system, built for a whole new kind of war.
And that brings us to the final and most crucial question of all. We've clearly entered an age of, well, they call it asymmetric warfare, where a $20,000 weapon can force a $4 million response. And as that gap, that technological and economic gap gets wider, it forces us to rethink everything we thought we knew about military power. So who actually has the upper hand in the wars of tomorrow? Honestly, the answer isn't clear at all. But one thing is for sure, this drone war has only just begun.